little baby one over here. Hey guys, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. So we produce a lot of food here on our farm. This is really the tail end of our meat harvest season, and we are very quickly getting into the gardening season. And before I get too headlong into my narrow focus of the garden, I had a few hides that I really needed to take care of. We butchered these animals probably over a month ago, and they have had a thick layer of salt over them ever since butchering day. And I finally got around to fleshing the hides today. So I am no expert hide tanner. I am actually still in the process of learning, but I've had a lot of requests to kind of show this process. So I'm going to. There is definitely more than one way to do this, and there are more sustainable ways than what I'm doing today. But this bottle of hide tanning formula was given to me, and so I'd like to use it just to see how easy it can really be with something like this. I'm following the directions. The next thing that I need to do is wash these hides up and then lay them out to dry a little bit, because I need to wait for it to be mostly dry before I put this on. This is where I had the hides stored for the 4, 5, 6 weeks that I had them salted. Here in the greenhouse, it did get almost 80 degrees some days, and it never caused a problem, at least not that I can tell right now, for the hides. But like I said before, I have to wait for them to mostly dry before I can add that tanning solution. So I've stuck them back in here mostly to keep them away from my dog. And also this table does provide quite a lot of airflow, and it's kind of nice. And I imagine if they dry out a little too much, I can add a little bit more water just to kind of soften them up a bit. So it seems pretty variable. I will be adding the tanning solution in this video, but not this exact day that I'm filming. So it's time to change my clothes, wash my hands, and I actually need to harvest some broccoli. So seems kind of random, but that's what life on the homestead is sometimes. There's just a bunch going on kind of all the time. So this here is my second ever successful attempt at growing broccoli. And I try to grow broccoli twice a year. This is my 6th gardening season. For us, one of the main reasons for success that we've found is growing a variety that is a hybrid that has been bred to handle high temperatures. This winter already has been intensely warm. Today I think the high was like 68. It's reaching record high temperatures for this time of year in our area. So the greenhouse, even with the sides up, it'll be about 10 degrees warmer than the outside air. So if it's 68 outside, it's 78 in here. And that's really pushing it for these cool weather crops. Now, while it is warm during the day, it has been getting below freezing at nights. Most nights, and from what I hear, that does help most brassicas kind of stall their bolting process or their flowering process. But this broccoli, most of it is ready to go. You can actually kind of see that some of these little tiny flowers are thinking about opening up. But the main reason that I know that this broccoli is ready and it's really not going to get any bigger is that the cluster is getting to be just a little less compact. It's starting to spread out a little more, and this is going to need to be harvested. Did you notice the little baby one under here? So I don't have anything slotted to go in this row for quite some time, and the broccoli plants will continue to put out those little side shoots, those little sprouts, until, I don't know, until it gets too hot probably and they start to bolt. So I'll leave the plants in, and I've got my little mushroom knife here. I'm just going to cut below the head. Beautiful. This one might be the biggest one in the whole row. Lovely. I didn't pick all of the broccoli that I had over there, but I did pick most of it. And you can tell that it's really not that much. So that row is about 30 feet long, and so there's around 15, 16 plants. I didn't officially count, but each plant is about 2 feet apart. And we got probably about 2 meals worth of broccoli for our family. Now there are ways that we are going to make this stretch. If you have a small broccoli harvest, you can like make broccoli cheddar soup, which doesn't take that much broccoli. You could just toss it in like a casserole or like a stir fry, where broccoli isn't really the substance of the dish, but we really enjoy broccoli. I genuinely cannot wait to turn this greenhouse into a raised bed greenhouse by this time next year. We're really going to be able to tailor the beds to optimally. Oh my God. We're really going to be able to tailor the beds with the most ideal nutrients for each plant. So I actually just learned literally today that brassica plants like broccoli and even some leafy greens, they prefer a soil that is more bacteria rich and less so fungally dominant. So I have a guy that I have been purchasing mushroom kits from for a few months, and he had told me that really the only plants that don't really love a fungally dominated soil are the brassicas and like leafy lettuces and things. I had no idea. That is very, very good information to know. I'm not actually sure what's going on in the soil that we have here, but I know that the beds that I want to put brassicas in the future, maybe those are beds that I don't put, you know, mushroom compost or something in. So I thought that was good information, and maybe that taught you something as well. My mushroom guy is on YouTube officially. He's starting to post videos. I will link his channel in the description box. So this broccoli harvest is a little bit small, but don't forget that little sprout that we pulled off of the side. Let me see if I can find one. Those plants will continue to produce these little side shoots for quite a while. So there are more like little trickle harvests to come. Good evening, my dear. Clover, you're looking wide. You are. And that's a compliment. Yeah. She's due March 11th. You are due sometime in 2025. Did you have an incident, sir? He did. Look at him. There's this hole that fills up with water underneath the pole here. Apparently Jupiter found his way in and out, which is the important part. This might give you guys a good context on how tiny Tori really is. She was born a year ago, and look at her size compared to these babies. She's bitty. You're a bitty baby. You may be wondering, am I worried about the hole? Am I going to fill the hole? Both answers to those questions are no. We do have about a 1 acre pond that these goats have access to on the other side of the property. They don't go to it this time of year, but there's more than just that one hole. I happen to know what all the holes look like, and I happen to know that they are able to get out of any hole should they find themselves in it. None of them are just like straight down. This is about as dangerous as the water trough that I have in the barn, and that actually has a cinder block in it just in case any baby gets stuck in it, because that does have a straight down side, and the cinder block would give them like footing to be able to get out. But this is like a gradual little sink. They know it's alfalfa day. I'll be there in a minute. Good morning. So it's the next day and I am wearing the same shirt that I wore yesterday because I only wore it for a few hours yesterday. I don't know about you, but laundry is not my most favorite thing. So I will rewear relatively clean clothes. I'm just taking a peek at our spring and summer seedlings. This is a lot of the nightshades that we'll be growing. The tomatoes are back here, and up here these are peppers and eggplants. No germination yet. That's fine, we can be patient. It has not been very long. But over here we have the skins, and you can see the grid of the metal. Okay, so it is kind of dry. I don't know if you can hear that. It's probably about half the way there, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, these are good. So the hide tanning solution that I have says warm the hide tanning formula by sitting the bottle in a pot of hot tap water for 30 minutes. I didn't do that, but it's been sitting in my pocket for about that long. The skin should be at room temperature. It's about 60 degrees in here. Semi-dry but still moist and flexible. Shake the hide tanning formula well, apply an even layer to the flesh side. Apply with a paintbrush or by hand by wearing rubber gloves. It says that one of these bottles will tan an entire deer hide. So I've got a small goat and 3 rabbits. I think that this will do. It doesn't smell great. It almost has a familiar smell to it, but I can't place it. Almost like furniture polish, which probably makes sense. We used to have a leather couch and we had this like leather couch cleaner. The cleaner smelled a little bit better than this, but I think it's reminiscent. Yeah, that's what it is. So I think I've got everything pretty much covered, and I do have quite a lot of extra tanning solution left. It does say, if I'm noticing later on in the process that some parts need a little bit more, I can just dampen them and then reapply the tanning solution, but we're just gonna have to see. At this point, I'm supposed to put skin sides together, kind of fold it up and let the solution do its thing. After 12 to 16 hours of tanning time, open the flesh side to the air and let it dry slowly for 2 to 3 days. As it dries, periodically pull and stretch the skin until it's completely dry and soft. If the skin is still stiff in a few spots, dampen those areas with warm water, reapply the tanning solution, and repeat. So it seems pretty simple. I'm not going to be able to finish it on this exact video, but stick around because I will be sharing an update. However, it is alfalfa day and the girls want to be fed, and I imagine that's a good way to close out this vlog. I actually did use some of the broccoli that we harvested in dinner last night. We made pizza. Usually we buy pizza, but I made pizza. I found a really good crust recipe. I'll put that in the description box. And on it we put our own homemade pizza sauce, which was actually leftover tomato soup from freeze-dried tomatoes. It was very good. We put on our first harvest of chestnut mushrooms. These are beautiful, beautiful mushrooms. Quite a lot of mozzarella cheese from the store. It is cheese season, so I'll be making our own mozzarella very soon. Some oregano from the garden, and then I put the broccoli florets on top, so as the pizza cooked, it would roast, and it was so good. It looks like I left the water on last night. Are you ducks having the time of your life? Good morning. Good morning, pregnant mamas. Good morning. Do you think you could leave this alone? Probably not. Here. Leave it alone. Come here, look. Hey, come here. Come here. I did leave all the babies out with mamas overnight. I do need to get to cleaning my milk machine. That's the task of the day. I will not be filming that, but I've got to get to it. Got to get to it. Your mamas make tons of milk. Yes, they do. Thank you guys for joining me on kind of a random little vlog. That is kind of how life is most of the time, but it's especially so during the like transitional time of year where we're coming into a completely different season, not only with the weather, but with what we're doing here because of the weather. So everybody stay safe. I will see you again soon.